From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Steel companies and union workers will meet with federal cabinet ministers today with the hopes of convincing Ottawa to retaliate in kind to U.S. President Donald Trump's latest tariffs.
Hamilton MP Lisa Hepner is not mincing her words on what the new steel tariffs could mean.
Thousands of jobs lost, the end of the industry.
Steeltown MPs are worried about the potential fallout after Trump doubled his steel and aluminum tariffs to 50%. Prime Minister Marc Garneau says Ottawa is now in intense trade discussions with the U.S. and mulling over the best response. The Canadian Steel Producers Association is calling for matching the Trump tariffs, warning the president has dealt a crushing blow to Canadian steel, effectively blocking it from the U.S. market. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Canadians appear divided on whether they see the U.S. as an enemy or an ally. A new online poll by the Leger Group surveyed more than 1,500 people last weekend and found almost a third of respondents said they view the U.S. as a neutral country. 27% consider it an ally and 26% see it as an enemy country. Tributes are pouring in for the first Canadian in space, Marc Garneau, who died yesterday after a brief illness. His death was announced in the House of Commons last night by Government Whip Mark Garrettson.
Former parliamentarian Marc Garneau has passed away at the age of 76, and with your indulgence, I would ask for a moment of silence from the House.
We have unanimous consent from all members.
MPs stood to honor the astronaut who made history with his trip aboard the Shuttle Challenger in 1984. He blasted off 2 more times before 2000 before moving into politics as a Montreal area Liberal MP from 2008 to 23. He served multiple roles in former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's cabinet. Prime Minister Marc Garneau called Garneau a public servant of exceptional distinction. Astronaut Chris Hadfield said Garneau was his mentor, longtime friend, and a brave and exemplary Canadian for us all. Also in the Commons last night, the minority Liberal government survived its first real test after the House adopted last week's throne speech. And Alberta's Kananaskis Country Golf Club is preparing for the unexpected when the G7 Leaders Summit opens later this month, including organizing a round of golf, perhaps, for U.S. President Donald Trump. It's not out of the question. Club GM Darren Robinson remembers all too well from the last summit in Kananaskis 23 years ago when former Canadian Prime Minister Jean Chrétien spontaneously asked to play a few holes one afternoon.
And we were introduced. I said, it's too bad that you don't have time to play golf while you're here. And he says, who says I don't have time? And he starts taking off his tie and his jacket. And so we put a Kananaskis hat on him and got him a set of clubs.
The 3-day summit begins June 15th in Kananaskis country. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Edmonton Oilers made a big step in their quest for redemption. Leon Draisaitl capped a 2-goal effort with the overtime winner to lift the Oilers to a 4-3 win over the Florida Panthers in last night's Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final in Edmonton. The Oilers came back from a 3-1 deficit, Draisaitl's winner coming on the power play with 31 seconds left in extra time. He says while Florida is a tough team to play, it was a pretty evenly matched game.
Every team, plays their own style, and obviously they're an aggressive team. They're in your face. We got it done when it mattered.
The NBA Finals open tonight with Canadian MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his Oklahoma City Thunder hosting Game 1 against the Indiana Pacers. The Toronto Blue Jays host the Philadelphia Phillies today in the finale of their 3-game series. Toronto came up with a 2-1 walk-off win last night on an Alejandro Kirk RBI single. Off-closer and former Blue Jay Jordan Romano. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.